first. So two other numbers of massive significance that I've come across and that I will share with the audience is the number 7 and the number 12. So 3, 7, and 12 have had spiritual significance throughout the world repeatedly. So with number 3, Christianity, you've got the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. The number 12, in the Bible, there were 12 disciples of Jesus. There's also 12 signs of the zodiac, 12 Chinese signs, 12 members of the Council of Lights for people who are into starseeds. So incredibly profound numbers. So where 3 is the balance of power, 12 is a collective power. So balancing the 12 signs to make the oneness. So 12 is really about the oneness, the collective of humanity. And I will absolutely get into that number because I love that number. 7 is a much more personal number. 7 is the ascension of ourselves. So when we get into the number 7, it's talking about our own divine evolution. So 3 will connect us to the power of the cosmos, and 12 binds us together. 7 is purifying ourselves. It's purifying the host, the soul, so that we merge. So there's no longer separation, is really what my guides are telling me. And I get, if you ever see me going like this, I get messages from spirits while I'm talking. And for me, I always thought I was just really creative because I came up with these brilliant ideas off the cuff. And it wasn't until recently that I realized that is my form of channeling information from higher self, from spirit, from angels. An idea will pop into my head that is above my IQ level. And I've learned to share that. So that's what I'm doing with that one. So 7 is about purifying what's within, so that we no longer get sucked into the illusion of separation, so that we're no longer sucked into everything we see around us being full of fear and hatred and ups and downs and loss and tragedy. These things are not real in the esoteric sense. And there are 7 steps that the human soul takes to realize that, to embrace that, to come to a point where it no longer needs to learn these lessons. It no longer needs to feel fear or loss. So that is why 7 is so important. And that is why I want to share it with you today. So let me jump into are the same lessons that you learn when you're studying the chakras in the Kundalini awakening. They're the same messages that you get when you study Mary Magdalene's teachings. By going through 7 internal steps, 7 steps for the self, you will ascend to a place where you are free. Not physically free. You're not going to float out of your body, although I'm sure you could do that if you wanted to. It's all about intention. But you are free from that which causes all the lower emotions that you feel: depression, fear, anger. You embrace this message to become a pure being. So when you put it all together, you get what I'm calling the 7 steps to ascension. So I have seen some books on this. I haven't read them, and I don't know if they compare the different modalities. But what I've done is look at this number, look at the teachings, look at the chakra system, and look at alchemy, and I've put those steps together to combine, I'm not going to say a practical how-to, but to show the similarities between each of the steps so that you can really embrace these steps to ascension for yourself. So before we get into the first steps, I'm going to tell you what the 7 steps of ascension really, I want to really boil this down. So in numerology, and numerology is a study of numbers based on your name, the letters of your name, the date that you were born, and material like that. And there are numbers, and each one is assigned information. The number 7 in numerology is the truth seeker, the thinker. This is the number of people who search for hidden truths, mysticism, and ascension. So when you look at what numerology says about this number, this makes perfect sense to me. If you are seeking hidden truths, if you are seeking mysticism, if you are seeking ascension, then 7 is your number. It is your jam. You need to learn the 7 steps to ascension, the 7 chakras cleansing, the 7 powers of wrath, and the 7 stairs that you need to climb to break out of the matrix. The matrix being everything around you that you feel and think is real. The fear of war, the hostile environment that is on the internet, the political system that is so combative. This is a matrix, folks. This is not real. And these 7 steps can get you to a place where those things can no longer hurt you. Let me just check real fast and make sure I don't miss anything. Please let me know if you're watching, if you're listening, please let me know if you have any questions or if the information is resonating. I'd love to hear your feedback. So step 1 of this process, starting left to right, calcination is the first step in alchemy. And this is the step associated with fire. Now, what you're doing with calcination is you are heating up matter to get it to decompose down to its basest nature. So you're breaking down all the elements of yourself to get back to 0. You're breaking yourself down to a base level. You want to break down your ego, your self-doubt, as your stubbornness, any kind of self-sabotaging behavior, your pride. You break this down to find the person that you are underneath. This is step 1. In Mary Magdalene's teaching, she talks about darkness being the first step. And it didn't explain what darkness meant. So for me, darkness very much means unknowing. The first step in ascension is to turn that light on inside of you to realize that that ego, that stubbornness, that self-doubt, that is not who you are. And as soon as you turn that light on and you get rid of that darkness, you have taken step 1. Because you're willing to shine a light on yourself. Because again, these are internal steps. These are not external steps. These have to be done by you, for you. Once you turn that light on, you are no longer in darkness and you can see the truth. Now the root chakra, which is step 1 of the Kundalini, this is your house, your foundation. Everything that happens in your body is built off of this root chakra. It is the stabilizer, the supporter. It's associated with the pelvic floor and your lower vertebrae. So this is where we get down to the base elements of humanity. So this is our survival instinct, fight or flight. This is where we know we need food and water and shelter. It is the basic needs of the human body come from the root chakra. Just like with alchemy, talking about getting rid of those basis needs, or at least not acknowledging that your base needs are not your highest truth. Yes, you need food, water to survive. However, there are bigger things out there. In alchemy, you are not your ego. You are not your stubbornness. You are not self-doubt. There's something underneath that. There's something underneath your need for food and water. There's something in the darkness for you to find. A point where you no longer have to go through those steps. But the funniest thing about this step and it talks about in alchemy, is once you reach this pinnacle, you don't get to float away from your body and never come back. You have to come back into the body and help other people through the ascension process. The step 7B is to take all that you have learned and turn around and teach it to the world. You have to come back and teach it to the world. So this message is, the 7 steps to ascension is such a personal thing, right? We are taking these steps to get our soul to the place where we know, we just know we're home, but we're home in our own bodies. We're not home in another world, we're home here. And then we have to turn around and bring everybody, help everybody else find home too. So I heard a story that I wanted to, or it wasn't a story so much as I was in my priestess class a couple months ago, and the instructor was talking about all of the students that she had, all the light workers, who were making comments about not wanting to come back in their next incarnation. They said, life has been so damn hard and so painful that I don't want to come back. I want to do the best that I can in this life. I'm going to do a ton of good. I'm going to learn everything I can. I'm going to evolve as much as I can, and then I'm out. I don't want to play anymore. And what the teacher said is also what I've learned in alchemy, is that we're going to get to a place where we evolve so that we want to come back. So that is a gift to come back and share that knowledge. There's no place in the cosmos that the soul can evolve the way that it does here on Earth. These 7 steps are not possible to take anywhere else. They have to be done here. It is a gift that we're being allowed to take part in. A gift that's allowing us to grow in a way that we cannot anywhere else. So once you get to that final stage of ascension where you're divine, you are your divinity. In every moment of every day, you will know beyond a shadow of a doubt that it is your gift to give back to the world. And I just thought that was an absolutely beautiful message. So I have